Okay, so I went to Peru last year, and I'm not a specialist in Peru. I went with the Center for Women in Democracy. I used Bruce's Insta360 camera, and we visited three locations: Lima, Madre Dios, which is in the jungle area, and then Cusco. First off, there are a lot of challenges in filming with the 360 camera. The first one is if you're not trained in cinematography or photography, you don't actually know what you should take video of. And I'll show you an example, okay? Knowing when to film. Even if you have a schedule in front of you, you don't always know what you need to capture, what to film, what is interesting to look at. I have all this footage. I don't know that I want to sit and watch it, let alone ask others to do that. Rules around what you can record. For example, at Machu Picchu, you're apparently not allowed to use like a selfie stick, but you have to use that with a 360. Otherwise, like half the shot is your face. So I got away with it for a while, and then they told me I had to put it away because I didn't realize it. Audio is a big thing. If you want to include audio in your videos, are you going to use a special mic? The camera does have it, but you have to be a bit careful. Challenges in building it. I see something in the chat. I don't know if it's for me. Should I say? Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Oh my gosh. Tim from SeekWeek, are you on this call? This is so cool. Okay. I'm sorry to be distracted, everybody. So, some of the challenges in building, you do need good machine power. So I have, kind of a Microsoft like Surface Book. Not going to do it. I use my husband's like home built super powerful machine, and that's because, of course, the images that you are recording just require a lot of memory and space. You need to know how to process these images and videos. I have no experience with this other than what I've learned from Bruce, and again, many thanks to him for all of his help. But you have to compress the files, you have to put them into another sort of processed format in order to be able to use them and then import them into SeekBeak. That was all new to me, and honestly, I had to get help doing that. Storyboarding with outcomes, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. You're not just shooting footage and then sticking it on a map. You have to actually have a clear learning outcome and really story that you're trying to tell with this footage. Again, this is where training in documentary filmmaking or even journalism would be really helpful, and I don't have any of that. So I like to think I'm a good storyteller, but we'll see. Missing footage. You get back, you're like, cool, I should have shot these other 10 things, and you didn't do that. And so now you're like, how do I backfill with footage that I don't have? The other issue for me, limited knowledge area. Again, Peru is not a specialty for me, so I'm trying to use it as this demo, but I don't have a deep knowledge of it like I do some other countries and regions. Okay, so um, let me just give you a quick example of one of the video challenges. So here's some footage I shot, and we're all going to watch it because I'm really proud of the fact that I got it to compress into YouTube. This is me walking through, this is like a farm, a farming place within the jungle. Okay, so here, there we go. We can look up, maybe down's not that interesting. Okay, I'm super proud of this. There's video, yeah, there's me. It's obviously really good at looking. Okay. Okay, cool. I took a 360 video and we're all excited for me for that. The question becomes, is that video interesting? Does it have any educational value? How am I going to tell a story or teach something about Peru, climate change, indigenous rights using that video? So what I had proposed to do was to try and do a comparison between an immersive site, something like SeekBeak, where you can kind of make your own choices, you can access the different video and text, you can do all these sorts of things, versus a typical sort of flat web page like a Wix site. So this is what I'm working on building because I'd really like to do a user test, seeing if like how this works for students. Like, is having the choices and the 360 video and kind of like being able to be immersed in it a better learning experience around the outcomes versus a flat page where you're scrolling and you're clicking and the video's embedded, but it's pretty stagnant. I'm trying to focus on climate change and indigenous rights in Peru, and I had some trouble locating that until I figured out what I could use to frame it, and now it's a bit more clear. Okay, so I like this slide. Are these things better? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. I would say at this point, I'm too afraid to stop because I've already invested the time and I've used a lot of Bruce's time and energy, so I feel like I need to do things. So, where do these things stand? The site is in process. Um, the platform is fairly easy to use, but as you add more objects and elements, you do have to have a really clear picture of how someone would navigate it. So I'm not a web developer or designer, so I'm having to think in a way that's a little bit different for me because it also has to do with the psychology of how someone would choose to navigate these things. What would they click on? What would they not click on? I struggled to sort of locate how I would approach this until I um, realized I could use the legacy and the history of the Shining Path movement in Peru. So I study civil wars and peace building after civil wars. And so now, if we take a non-state actor group that used violence in order to seek a political outcome, now it's become much more clear to me how I can connect all these pieces. So it's still got climate, it's still got indigenous activism, but all of this is now couched within understanding the role and legacy of the Shining Path movement in Peru. That forced me to sort of change up a lot of the content that I was going to put in, so that is in flux. Um, yeah, I'm still adding a lot of things and I'm still working on converting all my videos, selecting the most useful ones. I also have 360 images as well. So that's the overview of where things are at. I'm gonna just stop sharing so people can see me. So it's a twofold situation here. I'm trying to ask this, I want to test to see how effective this is for like teaching political science or political things. And I'm trying to create a site with my limited knowledge and skills. To using SeekBeak and learning 360. Now, last comment I'll leave you with is I have an exciting opportunity next week to really expand on this. I am climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and I'm going to take my 360 camera. They sell them at Costco, so I got my own. I'm going to take the 360 and take what I've learned from some of my failures in Peru, and try to do a better job filming so that I can come back and create a more comprehensive view. But of course, first I need to finish the Peru plan, the Peru site. So yeah, Bruce, I hope that's what you wanted me to talk about. Yeah, I guess at this point I should see if there are questions and welcome to Tim from SeekBeak. It's a really cool interface, and Bruce and I have talked about an idea like this for years, and to now have a platform that you can use to just do that is really, really cool.